2021, a YouTuber known as Matt Field decided to take on one of his most unsettling challenges yet. His channel, already known for extreme outdoor adventures, often featured him venturing far from civilization, surviving only on what he could hunt or catch. But this time, the dare was different. After hearing about a disturbing incident from someone who had previously visited a remote cave in Australia, Matt accepted a challenge to spend the entire night inside it, alone. He began his journey by trekking for hours through isolated terrain, bringing no water with him in hopes of finding some inside the cave. After roughly 4 hours of walking, he finally located the entrance. A man-made ladder led him down into the darkness below, and he immediately began exploring the narrow passages, crawling into small openings to see where they might lead. Not long after entering, Matt began to sense something strange. Small rocks fell near the entrance, and faint movements echoed through the cave, sounding like an animal or something else walking nearby. As the night drew on, the feeling of being watched became increasingly strong. Around 11 p.m., while trying to eat his dinner, things took a disturbing turn.
That is beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my God. That was the sound. That is the sound. Did you hear that? Look at my arms. I got full goosebumps. It's the chains moving when I climb down the ladder. It's a big, heavy, thick chain. Wind can't move that. Holy.
A heavy chain attached to the ladder began to move on its own. This wasn't a lightweight chain that could sway from a breeze. It was thick, industrial, and far too heavy to be shifted by wind. Matt also noted that the night outside was completely still.
That chain moved just then. It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that I walked in, that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving. Now, you can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no wind even fork up. Holy. Oh my God. Look. You must have heard that just then. Look at my arms, dude. Oh, this is fucked. Okay. Well, I've got my backpack back on and I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound and I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I checked in with you guys, so it would be around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And that sound was not normal. I'm getting out of here.
Yet the sound and movement continued as if someone or something was down there with him. Hours passed and the uneasiness only grew. By about 1 a.m., after hearing another strange, unidentifiable noise, Matt admitted to himself how scared he had become. He briefly considered leaving, but decided instead to stay near the cave entrance until daylight. A few hours later, new sounds emerged, this time hissing noises that resembled human voices. Despite searching, he found no source for the sound. The only plausible explanation he could think of was a large animal, hidden somewhere deeper inside. The possibility of encountering a hostile group living in the cave crossed his mind as well. Though why anyone would choose to live, there remained a mystery. Fortunately, as soon as the sun rose, Matt made his way out safely. He has never returned to that cave again. Was it a hidden animal? A natural phenomenon, or something whispered in the dark? The answer remains unknown. In January 2022, the YouTube channel The Facts by HowToHunt.com uploaded a chilling piece of footage that quickly drew attention from outdoor enthusiasts and paranormal viewers alike. The channel, usually focused on wilderness education and exploration, shared a video recorded by a group of teenagers during a late-night outing deep in the woods. What began as a casual adventure soon turned into something none of them were prepared for.
Hear that? Get Trevor. Austin, get the light. Hey! That was not an elk. Where's that coming from? Get my keys. Oh, get ready. Everybody, get in my truck.
The group had been wandering through the forest after dark when strange sounds began echoing from somewhere in the distance. At first they thought it might be an animal, but within moments the noises grew louder, unlike anything they'd ever heard before. There were heavy bangs against the trees, and a distinct haunting tone in the air that seemed far too powerful to come from a normal woodland creature. In many forests, it's easy to confuse animal calls with human-like sounds. Foxes, coyotes, and bobcats can all produce high-pitched cries that might resemble a scream. But in this case, the intensity of the noise didn't match any known animal behavior. It was louder, deeper, and carried through the forest with an almost deliberate rhythm, like something striking the trees on purpose. The teenagers' reactions, captured on camera, appeared genuinely terrified. They scrambled to gather their things, convinced that whatever was making those sounds was far too close for comfort. While some viewers later speculated that the footage might have been staged, others pointed out that the fear in their voices and movements seemed far too real to be rehearsed. One of the most disturbing elements of the encounter was the pattern of the noise itself. The banging wasn't random. It echoed in bursts, followed by eerie silence, as if something was listening and responding to their presence. No one knows what was truly out there that night. Some believe it could have been a wild animal behaving unpredictably. Others think it might have been a person, someone screaming or hitting trees in the dark for reasons unknown. Whatever it was, the group never saw the source, and perhaps that was for the best. Because if those sounds weren't from an animal, then something or someone else was in those woods, and it clearly didn't want to be found. In October 2022, a YouTube channel called Creepy Outdoors uploaded a video that quickly unsettled many of its viewers. The creator, known for exploring eerie and remote places at night, decided this time to camp deep within an unnamed forest, far from civilization. He recorded everything as he ventured through the dark woods, capturing the atmosphere of complete isolation. The footage began quietly. For several minutes, the only sounds were the steady rhythm of his breathing and the faint crunch of leaves beneath his feet. It was the kind of silence that makes even the smallest sound feel amplified. Walking through a dense forest alone in total darkness required a level of courage that most people wouldn't dare test. At first, everything appeared normal. The man occasionally commented on his surroundings while scanning the forest with his flashlight. There were no signs of wildlife or any other people nearby. But after about 13 minutes, that calm atmosphere changed completely.
Oh, hi. What?
I need to get out of here. Oh boy. Oh. Okay. That was creepy. I need to get out of here.
From somewhere in the distance, roughly a few hundred feet away, a chilling sound echoed through the woods. It was brief, sharp, and disturbingly human. The noise carried the distinct tone of someone shouting, though it was impossible to tell exactly what was said. Some who heard it believed it sounded like a phrase, almost as if a voice had called out directly toward him. Startled and confused, the YouTuber froze for a moment, trying to make sense of what he'd just heard. It's possible the sound came from a wild animal, such as a fox or a coyote, both capable of making noises that resemble human speech. But what made the moment truly disturbing was the timing. The sound occurred just seconds after he had switched off his headlamp, as if whatever made the noise had been watching and waiting for that exact moment. For anyone alone in the wilderness, that realization would be deeply unsettling. Whether it was an animal, another person attempting to frighten him, or something entirely unexplained, the sense of being watched in total darkness was undeniable. Fortunately, he managed to return safely to his campsite without further incident. The rest of the night remained quiet, and by morning there were no footprints or clues indicating anyone else had been nearby. The experience left viewers wondering, was it a coincidence, a trick of nature, or something in that forest deliberately waiting for the light to go out? To this day, the uploader continues to share new footage from his outdoor adventures, though none have been quite as chilling as that night in the woods. In September 2022, a YouTube channel known as Love Sundays, run by a man named Sean, uploaded footage from one of his solo camping trips in the United Kingdom. His channel usually documents peaceful outdoor adventures, but this particular night in Cornwall turned into something far more unsettling. That evening, Sean parked his van along a quiet roadside. Technically, camping there wasn't allowed due to local parking regulations, so he made every effort to remain unnoticed. As daylight faded, he quietly prepared his dinner inside the van, keeping movement and sound to a minimum. By around 9 p.m., the lights were off, the area silent, and everything seemed perfectly calm. But a few hours later, around 2 a.m., that calm was shattered.
I think they've gone. They literally tried to get in the van. It wasn't just a knocking, they were trying to handle.
Sean was suddenly awakened by noises outside his van. At first, it seemed like faint movement nearby, but then the sound grew more deliberate. Someone, or something, was right outside. The van's handle began to move as if a hand was trying to open it. For anyone who camps alone, being approached in the dark is already unnerving. But this situation was far from a simple misunderstanding. It's not uncommon for police officers or locals to ask campers to move when parked in restricted areas. But they usually knock first, identify themselves, and speak clearly before making any request. In this case, there was no voice, no warning, just the quiet, unmistakable sound of someone trying to get in. Within moments, the attempt stopped. The intruder, whoever they were, disappeared into the darkness as silently as they came. Sean stayed completely still, waiting, listening for any sign of return, but the night remained quiet. When morning finally came, he stepped outside to find everything untouched. Nothing was stolen, no sign of damage, yet the mystery lingered. Who, or what, had tried to open that door in the middle of the night? Sean packed up and left soon after, unharmed but deeply shaken. For a man used to peaceful solitude on the road, this experience served as a chilling reminder. Sometimes when you camp alone, you might not truly be alone at all.